Hello, I'm Jash, and welcome back to another. Oh god, ears itching. Never mind. Hang on. Okay, anyways, hello, I'm Jash, and welcome back to another lovely episode of Jash Reads, the series where I read a book cover to cover and talk about it chapter to chapter. Chapter by chapter. So yeah, and today we are reading Animorphs number 13, The Change by K.A. Applegate. Now, besides, reading a book cover to cover, since as you can see this is Minecraft, we also work on building something. Hang on, let me get the chat all set up. Okay, now let me finish game adjusted. Now, just a slight warning. I have 4 birds, 2 parakeets, 2 cockatiels, and currently the cockatiels have their wings trimmed so they can still... Okay, I was finished with this room. So they can still fly, sort of. But they can't fly far, so they end up crashing a lot. So. Let's see, what do I want to do with this room? So, basically every now and again, I might need to stop to rescue one of the cockatiels. Because they're really trying to deny that, they can't actually fly like they did before. So anyways, let's actually get designing the room. I think this is tight enough to be like a sleeping quarters. Okay, I'd have no clue what I was doing over here, but it's not sleeping. Also not sleeping. A room purely for sleeping, yeah. Whew. So yeah. So I'll try to keep this. I'll try not to harp on this too much. But Trump is again president for whatever reason. And at the inauguration, Elon Musk clearly did a sick hail, the Nazi salute. And it's just sort of baffling having people defend that action by going, oh, he didn't actually do the Nazi salute, it was just totally his autism. Dude, I'm autistic myself, and I can perfectly assure you, no. That's not an autistic thing. We don't, randomly decide, hey, one of our things is we don't unintentionally do Nazi salutes. It's... No. That's not exactly how autism works, basically. Let's see if we can put a few. Woo! That's nice. No. Okay. Let's put some lights here. We'll adjust the lighting later. Well, let's see. Let's have a little picture. Ah! That's interesting. Okay. Actually, maybe a little more color here. And before we start with the actual dramatic reading, let me figure out where the fuck the wool is. Concrete powder, terracotta. Ah, the wool. Okay, let's do a nice little outline here, and then we'll actually do a dramatic reading, which was really the whole point of this. Okay. Very pink. Actually, can we have like banners? Actually, let's search for that, because that would definitely give pink. Ah, here we go. Okay, this is what we have so far. Woo! Okay! We got everything set up here. Nice little room. Very small living quarters, but oh well. Come, let's see. Yeah, very few beds here. Maybe this was a bad idea. Who knows? Anyways, what? Anyways, let's start reading the next chapter of Animorphs number 13, The Change, by K.A. Applegate. Woo! Okay, everything's set. Okay, my hair feels comfortable. The birds are currently not chaotic. I just jinxed myself, but anyways, let us continue. It was a long night. I can tell you that for sure. A very long night. Even the Hork-Bajir were worn out by the time the first faint gray of pre-dawn started to appear. The whole time, I was waiting to see a bunch of taxons suddenly show up, followed by heavily armed Hork-Bajir, or else Fisher 3 and one of his awful morphs. Every shadow looked like it could be an enemy. And I had other enemies in the forest to worry about. I was extremely aware of the fact that any number of other birds and various hungry mammals were noticing me and thinking maybe I'd make a nice snack. But I was riding atop a Hork-Bajir, and none of the forest predators could quite figure out how to deal with that. At one point, a pair of wolves, probably scouting for their pack, stood a few dozen yards away and watched us pass. Wolves are very smart animals. They didn't know what the Hork-Bajir were, but they knew for sure they didn't want to mess with them. Deer scampered away from us. Owls dismissed us. We were... Actually, well, I would love to stay in this room here. The lighting. God. Okay. Okay, I think that's better lighting. I'll have to work on that when we work on the room again. Sorry. Sorry I got so distracted. Anyways. Deer scampered away from us. Owls dismissed us. We were obviously not mice, and that's all the owls cared about. Foxes slunk away. Raccoons froze. Only the forest's most fearless creatures ignored us and went on about its business. Everyone okay? Okay. In fact, I had to stop Ket Hallpack from stepping on one. Stop! Stop! Nobody move! I yelled, having seen the warning stripes of this most fearsome animal. Yerks? Cherahami responded. Axons? Ket Hallpack asked fearfully. No, worse, a skunk. Just let it go on its way. Nobody move a muscle till it's gone. Ha! Small animal, not kill Jarahami. No, it won't kill you. It'll just make you wish you were dead. I didn't know how much ground we had covered by the time we finally took a rest. I can't judge distances on the ground very well anymore. All I knew was that the sky was a shade lighter than absolute black, and the Hork-Bajir had started to stumble a lot. They were beat, and I was starving. Do you need something to eat? I asked the two Hork-Bajir. We eat, Shirahami agreed. Without any delay, he walked over to a tree, a pine of some sort. He drew back and slashed at the tree trunk with his elbow blade. Crack! He sliced it straight up, opening about a 3-foot gash in the bark. With his wrist blade, he began to slice the bark away in chunks ranging from a few inches long to almost a foot square. He tossed slabs of the stripped bark to his mate and took some for himself. Okay, hang on. I can't tell if it's growing darker or if it's just about... Okay, this line's better all around. Sorry. This is the subplot of this video. Getting the perfect fucking lighting. Anyways. Okay, let me go back a little bit. Okay. 3, 2, 1. He tossed slabs of the striped bark to his mate and took some for himself. That's what you eat? Yes. Is that how you eat back on your own world? He chewed the bark and seemed to be looking far off. When Charahami small, Charahami eat from the canvir, eat from the luhak, eat from the tall fitbit. Are those all trees? I mean, are they like these trees? Better, Ket Hallpack said. Better, Charahami agreed. I got the feeling Jara thought he might have insulted me by dissing earth trees. Earth tree good? He added. Earth tree good? Ket Hallpack agreed. It made me smile inside. were times when my life was just so utterly insane I could only laugh. A pair of goblins from some far distant planet were worried they'd hurt my feelings because they didn't like pine bark. Then, like a light going off in my head, I realized something. Shara? Ket? Is that why Hork-Bajir have blades? To strip the bark from trees? Ket Hallpack stood up. I was sitting on a rotting log, so she towered above me like a skyscraper. She pointed to her elbow blade. For straight cut. Indicating her wrist blade, she said, for taking off. Sticking out her knee, she explained, for down by ground. For the bottom of trees, I said. Each of the blades has a special use. Each one is for harvesting tree bark. Yes. She sat back down and took another chunk of bark. They aren't weapons. You don't use them to defend yourselves from enemies? To kill prey? Jarahami looked right at me. Hork-Bajir have no enemy. No prey. Hork-Bajir not kill. Yerk kill. Yerk kill Andalite. Andalite kill Yerk. Hork-Bajir die. You're caught in the middle. But that's why the Yerks took over your race. The blades. They made you deadly. Once the Yerk evil was in your head, you're the ultimate soldiers. All because you're adapted to eating tree bark. Hork-Bajir had nothing else to say. They went back to eating. Look, I have to go for a while. I have to go get food, too. Ket Hallpack held out a chunk of bark. Our food is yours. Thanks, but I need a different food. I didn't tell them what I ate or how I got it. You know, it's strange. I never feel guilty about being a predator when I'm with humans. After all, good old Homo sapiens is the king of all predators. But these deadly-looking Hork-Bajir were not predators at all. Despite their looks, they were no more dangerous than a deer with a large rack of antlers. They were just victims. Just a species that had the bad luck to look fearsome. And now they were caught up in a war between Yerks and the rest of the free species of the galaxy. I thought of all the battles we'd had with Hork-Bajir. They had come close to killing me more than once. I had hated and feared them. Now, I just felt sorry for them. And I felt sorrier still. Because I knew that my friends and I would fight against Hork-Bajir again in the future. I'll be back in half an hour or so, I said as I took wing. Don't worry, I won't leave you. Woo! Yay! Lovely lovely young adult book. Hang on one sec. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I just like to look at how long the next chapter is going to be for some reason. Let's see, chapter 7. But yeah, that's the big revelation about the Hork-Bajir. They're herbivores. And all the encounters we've had previously with Hork-Bajir controllers, Yeah, I mean, this is a bit one of those big, you know, twists and turns throughout the series that I think, you know, if you're reading the series for the first time, you need to really encounter without knowing, you know, about that reveal before it happens, because it is a big fucking deal. Because it really helps change the whole perception. Hang on. Am I going to have floating beds in here? Anyways, it changes the whole perception of what exactly a Hork-Bajir is. Okay, I can't put... Okay, let's get a life. Because it changes the whole perception of what exactly the Hork-Bajir are. Because they go from this, you know, fearsome, you know, species that, you know, obviously they have to be predators with all those blades, to, hey, this is a species that's, wow, just, they're some of the biggest victims in the series. And it finally makes Elfangor's words to the Animorphs in the first book make a lot more sense. Because in the first book, you know, before he gets eaten and all, he tells the, you know, group to pity the Hork-Bajir. And you know, at the time, the Animorphs are like, you sure about that one, dude? You sure? You sure? It's like, no, these are bladed death machines. I'm like, okay, they're predators. I mean, it's sad and all that, you know, their entire species got enslaved by the Yerks, but I don't know anyone who had it on their bingo card of, hey, the Hork-Bajir were, you know, are very, you know, are a very pacifistic society. Like, they don't do the whole war thing. You know, they don't fight amongst themselves. They're extremely peaceful. And the Hork-Bajir Chronicles goes a lot more into how the Hork-Bajir got enslaved and the series of events that led to their enslavement. I think so. There are some of the extra books in the series that definitely are meant to be read at certain points, like the Vischer Chronicles, which details Vischer 1's history. Like, as you're reading through the main series, it will tell you when to read Vischer. And then there's like Megamorphs #2, definitely meant to be read after, I think it's book 19, I believe. Now with the Hork-Bajir Chronicles, it's really nothing like that, like nothing where, you know, you have to read it at this point in time. There's a little more freedom. But it seems a great usual reading order, I believe, tends to be around like before or after book 23. But I'm thinking, since we're getting all into the lore of the Hork-Bajir, and I really want to talk about them, you know, we're going to read the Hork-Bajir Chronicles next. But yeah. Because I don't know how much I can... Like, obviously I can be a lot more free with talking. Yeah, they got such the short end of the stick. They're just going about their day, and I guess I'll classify this as a little minor spoiler. They had no idea about violence. Like, when I say they're pacifistic, I mean there is not a mean bone in their body. Before getting involved with the Yeerks and the Andalites, yeah, they had no idea that they could be violent. Let's take a nice little couple pictures here. Yeah, and when I was reading that reveal there, like, Tobias at first is like, this is what you eat? Lols. But then it's like something inside him starts to click. Like, oh god, because he starts realizing how royally the Hork-Bajir were screwed over. Like, he was starting to get ideas, and I read it more as him going, no, I'm not going to think about that. But then, you know, he has to think about that. Okay, what's this? Ooh, nice. Okay, well, we're going to just destroy all of this. And then when I read Ket Hallpack explaining to Tobias, you know, what's actually going on, you know? Like, yeah, we eat bark, we're pacifistic, and we got royally screwed over. Just sort of read it as her honestly just being very, you know, pissed off. Like, yeah, we're enslaved now. Like, all we want to do is sit around and fucking eat tree bark. And yet we're forced to be denied our freedom. Like, she's just pissed off the Yeerks and everything. It's like, you know, we did nothing. We were just living our lives. Fuck the Yeerks. Fuck them. Poor fucking Hork-Bajir. So yeah, sorry, just like, yeah. It was definitely a big reveal once, you know, when this book was first published. And actually, I'm going to put that as the question for today so I don't keep on rambling with really going nowhere. What did you think about that reveal? Like, were you surprised that the Hork-Bajir are actually herbivores? You know, were you wondering this entire time what Alfangor meant by saying that the Animorphs should pity the Hork-Bajir? And are you now going to look back at different conversations, you know, involving the Hork-Bajir and just view them differently? Are you going to go back now and just read over everything to see what hints you missed? Oh. And of course, remember for this Jash Read series, that while you can comment below, ask me questions, bring up topics in this chapter that I didn't mention. No major spoilers. I'm sort of hoping against hope here that people, you know, actually get into the Animorphs series via these videos, so, you know, no major spoilers. But, you know, always feel free to like and subscribe. Give me money and give me attention, or at least just give me attention. But anyways, I'm now going to get started on the links, and if you're watching this on YouTube, the links will already be down in the description. If you're watching this live on Twitch, sometime after I've finished, you know, streaming, I will add the links to the description. So just hang on there. And also, before I get started on reading these lovely links, some of these links will be Amazon associate links, and what that means is I get a little money with every time you purchase using the associates links. So it's a good way to help, you know, support both me and the original creators. So, yay! It's a win-win scenario. Woo! Anyways, with the first link will, of course, be to buy your very own copy of Animorphs number 13, The Change by K.A. Applegate. Animorphs is hands down my favorite series of all time. Like, for a little bit after the series ended, you know, I stopped participating in fandom, I stopped reading the books, and then I decided, hey, I'm going to reread the series. And there were actually some free PDFs that were actually supported by K.A. Applegate and Michael Grant, aka the creators of the Animorphs series. And when I reread the series, I was just like, I got drawn in yet again. I'll say this about, you know, some of the darker aspects of the series. As someone who's read the series both as an adult and as a kid, that kids will view the darker elements much differently than you as an adult would. Like, there's some shit I reread from the series and like, how the fuck did I put this out of my mind? How the fuck did I read this like 5, 20 million times and not go, and not, you know, just piss myself. It's like, ow. God, I'm looking for... something glowing. Ah, here we go. Here. So yeah. And also this, what I'm doing is dramatic reading, which is just an adaptation. And it's also limited by my talent or lack thereof, so definitely read the original book and... yeah! Fuck, I keep on accidentally destroying walls there. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, mistake never happened. I am perfect. Yeah, that's the first link. And as for the second link, dun 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 dun, is to my Twitter. I'm Jashikins on Twitter. And if you want to talk all day and night about Animorphs, I am more than fine with that. I love Animorphs. Love, love. You can't bore me while talking about Animorphs, trust me. Just, you know, be aware that the whole no spoilers thing is something purely for this dramatic reading, and if you don't tell me beforehand not to spoil certain aspects, I will just go into spoiler mode. So just be aware of that. And also, if you want to talk to me about any other nerdy thing, you know, go ahead. I do a bunch of other nerdy stuff. The Remedy Connected Universe, Skyrim, Stardew Valley, you know. So yeah. And the next link is to my Patreon. I am Jashikins on Patreon, and the Patreon helps support these dramatic readings, the other streams I do, every odd thing I'm doing on my blog. The books I'm releasing. So, you know, if you do want to help support me financially, this is the way to do so. And then I have 2 tiers. The first tier is a $1 tier where you get to view my red bubble designs before I actually sell them. So if you want to get, you know, right on the cutting edge, right? If you want to see them before anyone else, ta-da! And for $5, the $5 tier, okay, I need to go. Okay. For $5 a month, you can get to see the cover reveals of my latest books. So, you know, before anyone else, you can see my book covers. Sometimes they're really good, and I'm really proud of them. I mean, all the time. I am proud of everything I have ever done, yeah. What's over here? Maybe those should line. the ceiling. Let's put them all over here. Yeah, and so the final link will be to my original book series, Kafka's Men. I am publishing them on Amazon under the pen name Jash Colsey. Colsey spelled K-O-L-Z-E. And the book series is a slow-burning reverse harem. And by slow burning, I mean glaciers move quicker. So if you really love slow burns, I think you're going to like this. And besides the reverse harem part, it's also grimdark superhero series. So you got some lovely body horror. So if you like your romance with a nice glass of body horror, you might want to check it out. Done here, and we're going to end the dream. We're in a dream right now. Woo! We'll end the stream shortly because we've gone through all the links. We've done the actual dramatic reading. We have discussed the chapter. Before I forget, I do want to put a little bell here in this room. Maybe a bunch of bells. Yeah, that'll be for future me to decide. But yeah, we've done the dramatic reading, we've done discussion, we've done the links, so it's going to be... I'm going to go now. But if you are watching this live on Twitch, you'll still want to stick around as... I'm going to do another episode, Jash Reads, very shortly. This time, the dramatic reading will be more of my fic, that part, so, yeah. So, I hope to see you there, and if I don't, I hope to see you in the next video where I read more of Animorphs number 13, The Change by K. Applegate. So, until whenever I see you again,